We are a nation of immigrants. When you come to the shores of New York Harbor, you see the Statue of Liberty. The statue has a poem by Emma Lazarus that says, "Give me your tired, your poor." That has become more of an exception than a rule. With the number of refugees in the world, with the number of unaccompanied minors, we should be opening our arms like this country has in much of its history. But instead, because of what has happened to us economically, we see that kind of division as displayed a lot by certain presidential candidates, Donald Trump being one of them. So when a presidential candidate starts talking about policing Muslim neighborhoods or building a wall between Mexico and the United States, it creates a pall, it creates a detriment, it creates security issues, it creates safety issues for children who are either refugees or, first-generation immigrants or unaccompanied minors. And that's something that we need to do a lot more about. So the AFT has been very involved in all of the civil rights, economic and social justice issues around immigration to try to ensure that we have a comprehensive plan for immigration, to ensure that kids who are dreamers and their parents are able to go to college or to ensure that our parents actually are with our kids, not deported, not pulled from kids, things like that. So there's that whole level of advocacy ensuring that we help refugees and we have a comprehensive plan for immigration, and we fight against both this bigotry as well as this notion of deportation and things like that. That's number one. Number two, when we get to schools, we have two things we have to do. First, we have to make sure that our English language learners have the professionals they need to help them through their pathway to learn English. Since English is the language of our country, we need to create the kind of pathways that kids need and the supports that kids need. That means a whole lot more professional development, particularly for mainstream teachers. It means a whole lot more dual language schools. It means a whole lot more bilingual education, English immersion. It means making sure that our federal policies are such that English language learners have the time to take content in their native languages before they're forced to take content in their English languages. But it also means schools need to celebrate multiple languages, see them as an asset, not as a liability. That's number one. Number two, we have to do for English language learners like we have to do for all kids. So when we fight to have high standards that are aligned with what kids need to know and be able to do in the 21st century, that's as much for ELLs as for every other child. When we fight for English for early childhood, it's as much for English language learners as for every other child. When we fight for community schools, it's for English language learners and their families as much as it is for every other child. So I would say we have to do all three of these things: fight for comprehensive immigration and fight against the kind of biases against immigrants and particularly against refugees and unaccompanied minors. We have to make sure that we have the supports that English language learners need, particularly in terms of professional development for teachers, lower class sizes, the other kinds of supports, particularly in the mainstream. And three, we have to make sure that we have the kind of resources and strategies like early childhood, like high standards, like community schools that we need for all kids.